The world's most powerful AI chips are no longer just made abroad, they're being built in America. Nvidia's decision to manufacture in the US could be a turning point in tech, trade, and national security. If you've been skeptical about tariffs, this move might just change your mind. Stick around because at the end, we'll unpack what this means for the future of American industry and whether other companies will follow.
This second piece, we're talking about their production of the best chips that they have in the United States. We're going to talk about what that does for our view on tariffs, something we'll cover as well for them. Gary, thing number two, again, the double NVIDIA issue. Thing number two, NVIDIA brings chip making home to America.
So, Rob, this one has me excited. I know we generally try to be neutral arbiters. We try to be kind of like an umpire and call it like we see it, but I'm actually excited by this news. One of the justifiable, reasonable complaints that people have had about President Trump's tariffs is they've said, if you raise tariffs now, it's going to hurt us now, and it will take years to start to build and develop onshore manufacturing. And I think that's a reasonable complaint. You can't just build a factory in a week, right? I mean, just to get the organization and financing and design and permitting could take you years. And so, what people were saying is we're going to take the pain now and we're not going to see the benefits of it, of the increased domestic manufacturing for a number of years. And I think it may be worthwhile to take that hit and to pay that price, but I think it's valid criticism that people have had over President Trump's plans. Well, guess what? Nvidia last week disclosed that they have already started producing their very best next generation Blackwell AI chips in Arizona. They are partnering with TSMC, that's Taiwan Semiconductor, and they have over 1 million square feet of manufacturing space that they're putting together also in Arizona and Texas that will allow them to produce their best AI chips and supercomputers in the US. Some of that's related to tariff-related motivation, and other companies may follow as well and start producing here. But we're excited to see it. NVIDIA is talking about $500 billion of product over the next 4 years. That's a really big number. Thrilled to see it. And other companies that NVIDIA is partnering with on this is Taiwan Semiconductor, Foxconn, Wistron, Amkor, and SPIL. And so, we're going to see more high-end U.S. production. And I think that's something we need to do. Not being able to produce our own chips is a national security issue. It leaves all of our industries and our best industries and our weapons manufacturers, and just so much of U.S. security is related to chips, and it leaves them all vulnerable to future geopolitical disruptions. I'm thrilled to see that the world's best chip maker is now producing here in the U.S. And that is not, well, we'll do it down the road. And people have talked about that a lot. No, they are already producing.
Gary, I can tell with your excitement. I think I know the answer to my follow-up question. Is this a win for the Trump administration? Assuming yes, it is. I mean, how big of a win is this for him early on in his presidency?
I think it's huge. I mean, the fact is, not just this administration, anybody, with a brain would have identified our two biggest vulnerabilities in our geopolitical supply lines or international supply lines as semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. Getting the best chips made here in the US and in conjunction with Taiwan Semiconductor, the best chip maker in the world, I think is huge. And that, a lot of people have complained about President Trump's tariffs, but let's celebrate the wins. This is a huge win. Also, for the Democrats in the audience, standing ovation here for the Biden administration's CHIPS Act. That certainly helped bring more production home. So, when you're saying, is this a huge win for the Trump administration? Yeah, but I also think it's a win for the prior administration as well. This is a bipartisan win. There were Democrats who supported funding for this kind of thing, and they deserve a round of applause on this one, right along with the Trump administration.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's what we should really be talking about. Is it's a big win for America, a good thing for chip production, national security, jobs, the whole 9 yards. And I don't think there's any way you can argue that.
Yeah,
Gary, moving.
absolutely, Robin. And we should be celebrating people on both sides of the aisle who made this happen. This is also a win for Democrats, and like you pointed out, what we want is a win for America, and that's what we got here. So great job to everyone involved.
You're watching the double NVIDIA issue of Deep Knowledge Investing's 5 Things to Know for this week. Please check out our website, deepknowledgeinvesting.com, where you can go sign up for a free subscription. You'll be notified via email when we release each week's version of the 5 things. We'd also love if you consider signing up for a premium subscription. That'll get you access to all gated content, as well as current recommendations and buy and sell signals coming from